welcome to another episode of Chat Zion, the City of Cities, when it comes to YouTube chat shows. Here again with Jason, and we are going to look at smart technology today and how useful that is for Christian living and for church life.
And how deadly it is for Christian living and for church life. Anyone seen Terminator?
Yeah, just ask Arnie.
I think this is a great question, but man, can it open up some funny discussions.
That's probably my fault because I don't understand technology at all.
Bit of background information. This will be the second time we've recorded this video. The first time, it corrupted.
Technology one.
So maybe technology decided
It's
it
too
wasn't
smart.
going to work. So we are creating the backup of this recording for that reason. And that reason alone, we haven't lost anything else. Anyway, I think this is a really great question, but there is that, well, you can use technology for really great things. And I know churches are utilizing it all the time. They're live streaming now in a lot of churches. Our church is live streaming. Trust me, it's a technological hassle. But it creates the ability for people to be at church when they're at home. If they're, old and can't get out of bed, or they're sick and they can't get out of bed, or
Someone glued them to their bed and they can't get out of bed.
or someone glued them.
Yeah.
Technology. But maybe they were stapled. But well, actually, if they're in a hospital, they would be stuck in bed, possibly glued.
It happens.
So it happens.
Can you sense my nervousness about this topic? Well, I feel like I'm breathing very heavily because this is all about stuff which I have no idea about and I'm a little bit scared about.
It is a scary world if you think that... I need to edit that part out. It is a scary world if you think that there are times that in some houses the fridge talks to the oven.
I've seen a fridge that talks to the washing machine, and I don't even know why a fridge would talk to a washing machine.
I was just about to say that, actually.
Wash my watermelon later on.
So
Ridiculous.
You take the food out of the fridge, the oven tells you what to cook and how to cook it, and then the washing machine or the microwave says, I can do parts too, and the washing machine goes, after you're done, you spilt those red wines and white wines, I'll wash it for you. But this technology is all talking to you, and I know last time we recorded, we had someone say that, I think it was me, that a guy in Sydney has got a microchip in his hand. So when he walks through doors, the doors automatically open, the TV automatically comes on, smart technology. What we're seeing with Alexa and Siri and...
I don't know who Alexa is, by the way.
And Hey Google.
I know who Google is.
Alexa is Amazon's.
Amazon has a talking person now?
Amazon has a talking personal assistant.
Yeah.
They're not really personal because they don't talk back. Or they do. They can be rather rude. But you've still got to ask some questions like, hey Alexa or hey Siri. But either way, the fact is we have some incredible technology today that is incredibly difficult to use, but less so than it was 10 years ago.
If the bloke in Sydney with the microchip door opener is watching, these things open doors too. They're called fingers and opposable thumbs.
And God created this technology. And it's funny because I thought when we were going to do this, we were going to have some massive debates. But the reality is, I find this almost a hilarious subject because, and last time we didn't really focus on this until right at the end. But when God...
Literally, the last 30 seconds.
If we're watching out for the end of days, I think technology is a good place to start. Mark of the beast is in your hand or on your forehead. There are reasons for that. But the fact is, if you're going to get a microchip on your hand or your forehead, you're basically saying you haven't read the Bible. Or maybe you've never heard the message. Or maybe you think I'm being, again, one of those spiritual fuddy-duddies that doesn't know what they're talking about. But the Bible says to be careful of this stuff, to be wary.
Fun fact. I love the word fuddy-duddy. I looked it up when I was a kid about how to say it in Spanish. And if you say tu carroza, that's you're a fuddy-duddy in Spanish. For all of our Spanish fans out there. I just couldn't resist that when you said funny, don't I? Sidetracked. Mark of the Beast, that's what we were focusing on. And when you said Mark of the Beast and you said wrist, forehead,
Yeah.
I straight away went to the weird alien dude in Stargate or Star Trek or...
Tilk. Right.
Yeah?
The
And he's
token.
got like the thingamajig.
Yes, it's a symbol burnt into his flesh to say,
See?
I'm a slave for this house. I'm
And
a
that
true
shows
geek.
all about tech stuff.
So
Smart
that's got-
tech, end of days.
That's actually using the wrong type of show because that was an alien race that was not allowed technology. And now we're talking like I'm a true geek here. But the reality is we created lots of films, whether it's iRobot, whether it's Terminator, whether it's Eagle Eye, whether it's Star Wars. Got to have a big Death Star. But the reality is, all throughout our existence, we kind of fear technology as well as create it. And
Which makes no sense. Just saying.
yeah, my fear is that we develop technology we actually don't know how to fix. You know, if we look at kids today who have no interest in how it works, they just like the fact it works. They get to a point, we actually have a movie based on this concept, that you get to a certain point in history and Terry Crews played the president and he knew nothing in the film. And you got this whole culture of people that don't know how it works or why it works, and when it starts breaking down, it just breaks down.
But they become so dependent on it. And it's insane because no one knows how to do anything anymore. And that's ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm not the most handsy, fix-it type of person, but I can do the basic things like, you know, if my table fell apart, I can screw the leg back on, you know. But if my computer breaks, then I'm like, turn it off, turn it on, and if that doesn't work, I don't know, give it to someone else.
Well, it's a good point. If I sit on the table, though, it won't just be a leg. But it's going to break.
It happens.
But I think technology is just one of those, you know, going back to that original question, which it's so easy to stray from in this topic. And it's so easy to have fun with. But, you know, can we have a technological existence? And I'd love to get the exact wording for it, and maybe I'll do that in your next little sharing part. But can we have a technological existence with Christianity? And you know, it's funny because the advent of technology has allowed the Bible to go everywhere, the printing press being technology. But smart technology in particular, I think it's one of those topics that could go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I think that it's a period of escalation right now. We've done so much in the last, not just 10 years, but the last 30 years. So if you go back to the 80s where internet was just for, Uncle Sam in America, maybe a few other governments that I don't know about. But the reality is, since the 80s, so less time than some people have been born. I was 83, so, you know, my whole lifetime I've seen this massive expanse of technology, but even until early, the new millennium, we didn't really have a lot of technology everywhere. It wasn't really the same as it is today. So for some of you out there was things called telephones. You had to actually, dial, and dial-up kind of made noises.
I liked those old telephones with the like spinning wheel on the front that you had to go. They were good.
Have you ever seen that video of kids looking at it and going...
I have witnessed that. We have like old timey day at school where people bring in all of this old stuff from the past, and they have the setup of like a timeline of telephones, and they have your smartphone at the front, and then your Nokia brick, and then your like big giant original sort of mobile phone, and then the old plug into the wall, push the button dialy ones, and the cordless one that plugged into the wall but you could walk away with it. And the kids got to the ones where you couldn't walk around and use the telephone at the same time because it was like attached to the wall, and they just couldn't understand how people did that.
Yeah,
but how do you talk to your friends and be on the phone because everyone's in the same room? And I said, well, you sat there and you went, hey Jimmy, and then your brother on the couch went, Jimmy! And that's just how life was.
If you were really blessed, you might have had an extension where you could actually walk around the house. Parent Trap's a good example for that. They walk into a closet. They had these things called payphones you could use too. But the question itself, should Christians be embracing smart technology and what boundaries? Well, that's an interesting perspective.
Lots of boundaries.
Should we embrace smart technology?
Meh. A little bit. Me, like I said before, technology, no, I think. And being able to broadcast your church service to computers at home, or people can watch it on their tablet or whatever, or if they are in hospital or bedridden with some sort of sickness or whatever, that's a great thing to be able to do that, to still be able to experience church. But you get that sneaky sense of Jimmy, I'm just going to keep picking on Jimmy, who just decides, I don't need to get out of my house and go to church now because I can just watch it online. And then he's not going to church. He's watching a church service, but he's not going to church. And that's not really the point of church.
No, and I know when I was researching for actually doing live services, the first comment was, this is for people that are in hospital or sick, but make sure that you actually get in attendance from people who can come. My thing with embracing smart technology, well, we're on YouTube, so we have some similar of smart technology we're using now. There was a time, if you were going to put an audio input into a video input, it was going to take a massive amount of work. You needed an old sound desk and lots of wires.
It was going to take these two blokes massive amounts of work. I don't do anything except talk about stuff because I am not smart tech.
I can verify that because when I lent him DVDs, I also lent him the DVD player. So,
yep. My Xbox plays DVDs.
And when
it's not even my Xbox, it's my wife's Xbox.
When I gave him access to my Google movies, I don't think you've used them yet, have you?
I went to use one once, but I had to use my phone internet to get my TV onto YouTube, to watch YouTube via the TV, to watch the things, and it was very difficult. It was a lot of work.
It would have downloaded quite a lot of gigabytes.
And I gave up.
Yeah, it's... I think if you're someone like me who embraces a certain amount of smart technology, I know we've got a friend in church that loves smart technology, he's all about it. We've got other friends that stroke their beards. And he's on... I'd love to put a camera on our sound and tech guy. I said it once before, and that video somehow miraculously didn't work. So, I blame the tech guy. No, as production manager, I blame myself. But I'd love to get him on camera one day, but we call him the silent assassin because he never talks. It's annoying.
I heard him once. It was like seeing a double rainbow.
But he does love stroking his beard. Now, the reason I put this into this topic is because, well, smart technology is like his beard. You can either love it or hate it. And
I like your beard, Dave.
I like your beard, Dave.
Much better than technology.
Now, what boundaries should you have on technology? I think we just kind of mentioned the mark of the beast. That's a good one to keep an eye on. I'm not sure what Dave's doing behind the camera right now, but he's trying to make me laugh. So, so mark of the beast, I think, is a good boundary. Is there any other boundaries you can think of?
Well, I want to talk about the last time when we filmed this, because this is take two, because smart technology is so awesome, that you were telling me this story about you can take your phone around Woolworths and scan the things on your phone.
Right.
And then when you leave, you just scan your phone. You don't have to scan everything again.
Yeah.
So that's good. I liked that. But then I wanted to put up all the boundaries after that, because I went, all of the checkout people are going to lose their jobs now because no one needs to check out stuff anymore. Well, and I was like, how many people are just going to put a whole bunch of stuff in their shopping trolleys and go, yeah, I scanned it, and just walk out the door?
Well, you can't do that. So since that time, I've done a little bit of research. So as you may well know, at all checkouts now they have sensors to let you know if the barcode has been scanned or not been scanned. So if it's been
I've
scanned...
seen some very suspicious looking characters walk out with way more things than they scanned.
Oh, absolutely, because the problem right now is that if you've got like say $400 worth of shopping, one thing may not scan. So you've gone through, you get through, generally good. But most checkout operators make sure it doesn't happen because you've got to empty. They're not. Self-service is the same thing. There are cameras on that area for the, if you do walk out, they'll catch you pretty quickly. This supermarket doesn't have. Woolies opened up a new one. It's literally, you walk through, you've got the barcode, scan it, it sends it through to the app. When you get to the end, you scan the app and it calculates, takes it out of your account, so you don't even have to pay for it right then and there, it's just automatic. And you walk out the door. Obviously there are cameras everywhere, so you need to actually go past that scanning app. That is the check. If you go past that scanning app, great. And yes, they have taken into loss prevention, so the police are on standby at the moment. But
I would think that that's gone a step too far. If you don't want to go through the checkout hassle, which I'm assuming is the point of this scanning phone, yeah, saving the checkout hassle.
It's just designed to take out the...
Order your groceries online. They deliver them to your door. And then you don't even have to leave the house.
You could be like me and actually want to see what you're buying and know that it's exactly what you want. I don't like buying stuff off eBay. I've been caught too many times. You buy something, it turns up, it breaks. And yet, I know our pastor loves eBay. And some people do, some people don't. I prefer Amazon. But the reality is, I still prefer brick and mortar stores. I like going into the stores, I like having a look, I like going back and going, is this going to work, is that going to work? I think I was talking to our silent assassin the other day. That's going to be his nickname now on video, Silent Assassin. But when I was talking to our silent assassin the other day about actually needing a new mic stand, so that we can just set it up on the table, clip it on or whatever, and we can move it where we need it. And the only way I can get that is either going on eBay and spending $16 or something like that, or go to brick and mortar stores and spend $200. So,
I'd be going to eBay and then buy myself something pretty for $184.
I think my budget extends to about $5, so we'll see. But the reality is, everyone's got their plus and minuses. I know some people, I've seen a lot of checkout people say, I never see coins anymore, I never see notes anymore, and yet I know people that carry money around with them all the time just in case they need it. It's getting to the point, it is getting to the point, maybe in the next 5-10 years, where there won't be any money in your wallet. And if you think that's crazy, think back 5-10 years ago when PayPass wasn't a thing, and now that's become a really big thing. Digital trends like cryptocurrency,
which I don't understand, by the way, because it's literally nothing. People are paying for nothing and then spending nothing to buy something
that's worth nothing, apparently. But
most of the time worth nothing. True.
Well, you're also paying with nothing, so it must be worth nothing. But
my theory on the economy, and everyone who knows me knows this, I don't like money. I think we should go back old school, like
barter trade.
If you need me to fix your fence, then you've got to give me a goat.
So barter trade, yeah. It's there are some companies that do that, but we're way off topic as usual when we discuss smart technology.
Goats aren't smart.
It's Terminator. So boundaries, look, we've already discussed one. Patrick's boundaries are pretty much put up a cage, put up a wall, and just protect it with a laser cannon, which is smart. But anyway.
No, why use if I'm going to use a cannon, I'm using a cannon. We had this one last time. If we're going to attack someone, if someone attacks me with like a medieval trebuchet launch and stuff, then I'm going to sit there and go, you know what, you can have my kingdom, because that's a pretty good effort. But the people who attack stuff with the smart tech of, look, I'm going to sit in my country 10 gazillion miles away from you and push a button on my smartphone through my Woolworths app and shoot my missile across the world at you, and then you're going to sit on the other one and use your satellite technology through your Woolworths app and shoot it down out of the sky. It's just like, that's lazy. If you're going to fight someone, go fight them. Don't fight. Just asterisks on that one. Fighting's bad. But if you're going to do something, then at least have the guts to go and do it.
Well, I got to admit, if we get to the point where we can buy national attacks off Woolworths, we're in serious trouble. That should be a boundary right there. Don't use supermarkets for war.
If you were MacGyver, you could go to Woolworths and you could start a war. You could win a war.
You could.
MacGyver could do anything.
MacGyver could do anything. But why would he be in Woolworths? with attacking
No,
their
he
nation?
needs to refill his matchbooks and his little Swiss Army knife.
I suppose in this concept, I should ask you, which one do you prefer, the new or the old?
The old.
Really?
New.
The new.
Those are old things. Everyone should know that I like all the old things better.
I think this is coming through very clear in this discussion. I love Richard Dean Anderson, but the new, I prefer the old music, I could give you that, but the new team, at least it's a team, there's more than one person on screen. That's one of the reasons it only went for
MacGyver, not MacGyver and Friends.
But he's taking some, time off Barney and friends.
But it'd be like watching an episode of like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and just having one turtle.
Well, technically it is Raphael and friends. But, yeah.
Raphael is so not the lead turtle.
And for all those Christians out there that have problems with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I understand. But
they had smart technology and it oozed up and turned them mutant. See? Technology.
Yeah.
Bad again.
If you
no
read
point for old stuff.
If you read the comics, then you probably weren't growing up in church. Now, well, they were R-rated.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you couldn't have still been reading.
No, not the 80s animation comics, the actual comics that were based on. They're very Japanese anime. How I know this? Don't ask me. I watch a lot of geek stuff. But, again, smart technology. Good barrier, be watchful, be mindful. If they decide to put a chip into your head or into your arm, probably avoid that at all costs, even if that means
having to open doors with your hands.
Okay, well, let's take this that little bit extreme. All right.
We haven't already taken it extreme.
Let's take this a
I feel like we
little.
talked about the guy for like 5 minutes.
But of course we didn't. Let's take it a little bit further.
Go. I love extremes. Bring it.
You don't take that barcode, but then everything runs off that barcode.
But the barcode scanning.
So you can't drive because the car runs off your barcode.
Are you talking about the wristwatch barcode thing?
Wrist, head, whatever.
Okay.
Scanners in the car. That turns your car
people
on.
would freak out if you got in your car and like. Boop.
Okay, well, I mean, you think about it. There was once we pay tolls. Now we don't pay tolls because it's all. Well, we still
I
pay
don't
tolls.
pay tolls. I use the Google Map avoid tolls button.
You spend
Saves you a
you
fortune.
spend the hour on fuel. I'll go through the toll. But the reality is that's the way it's getting to. The government, even our Australian government, was looking at having one barcode for all Medicare license. The natural escalation of that is if you go to a barcode in your skin, and we've even seen some technology in TV shows where it's like this. Wherever you go, it reads the barcode. It doesn't activate without you. Without that barcode, you don't exist. Now, take that into the escalation of Christianity, and God says not to have that, but you can't buy groceries, you can't get in your car, you can't own a house, you can't have kids.
You can't have kids without a barcode?
Because as they're in a country in America, not the country of America, in America, in one of the
There's
states.
a place that doesn't let you have kids without barcodes.
Yeah,
it's called a cult.
In one of the states, they've actually said they want to put a barcode in every newborn child.
Yeah, this thing.
Right? Now,
And then if you lose your baby, you can find my watch on your phone.
but the reason for that, you can then use that barcode for everything. You can use it for your license. You can lose it. You can use it for everything, and you
Don't
can't
like
lose it.
Don't like it. It's already scaring me.
So,
I'm going off grid at this point and living in the forest and farming my own vegetables and hunting wild deer by throwing rocks at them if I have to,
okay, but
wrestling them to the ground.
But we've seen this with people who, like, say saying one thing against the government. Okay, it becomes illegal not to have it.
Fleeing to a different country.
In
Immigration.
It becomes illegal worldwide.
Well, I better get my spacesuit ready then. It's the only technology I'm allowed is my oxygen tank on my spacesuit.
Which runs off that barcode.
Well, I'm just being thankful then that people don't live forever.
In the 80s, they actually developed a TV show about the end times, and it was similar to that. You couldn't buy if you didn't have this code, and the consequences for not having that code were starvation, hunger, beheadings, stuff like that.
Was there some sort of rebel force that rose up against this
because
tyrannical
it was
empire?
Because Revelation tells of the end days. It was.
I don't remember Revelations mentioning the word barcode.
it's considered the mark of the beast. So let's say the mark of the beast. Without that mark, you cannot buy food, anything like that.
Forage.
And this is what at the end of the day is, you know, if I'm reading my word correct, that's what it is like. Where it will be, you either choose the legal government, one world religion, one world money, all that kind of stuff, or you choose God, and there is going to be a complete difference because one will be legal and one will be illegal.
Well, I'm still choosing God. There's a song, I don't know the name of it, but on my Love Riot album, good album, buy it, and it says something about if it becomes incorrect to talk the truth about life and death, if it becomes illegal if I'm outcast or whatever for believing in God and doing this, then bring it. I will be standing in front of the jury on my knees. Something about that on the song, and that's where I began.
And I think that's kind of where my point was. There are going to be people out there that say you're taking it too far, but the reality is it gets to that point where it may get to that point. You're going to make a decision. Am I going to choose God or am I not? There are plenty of places in the world like China right now where it's illegal to be a Christian, or illegal actually in China right now. They just changed the law so it's illegal to have any religion. Their state religion is no religion. Church is flourishing, of course, but that means that persecution. So, and in Roman times, initially, Christianity was illegal. And you got to make that decision.
And they did it anyway.
And I think smart technology, that is the one boundary that I'm always careful of. We need to have that Christ first mentality and know your word. The Bible actually says a lot of people will be deceived by that because they'll go get those barcodes because there's natural escalation of where things are going. Give it another 20 years, I can almost, maybe not even that, and that'll almost be a requirement, I think. I think we're really coming to the end of days. But let's, Peter and Paul back in, just after Christ was dying were saying God was coming back soon. And I really believe he's coming back soon, because if you look at the way we've gone in technology in just the last 10 years, give it another 20, I think it'll be at that point.
I think it'll be ridiculous, yeah. I think it's already ridiculous.
Yeah.
But smart tech has its good points within those boundaries that I love so much. You don't want it to get in the way of your relationship with God. You don't want it to get in the way of your relationship with other people, your fellowship with friends and family and everything like that. If it can enable you to do that, great. This is, I don't know, is this smart tech?
Yes.
This is smart tech. So this is enabling that. But if I couldn't go to work and talk to people, I couldn't go to church, talk to people. If I couldn't sit down with the guys after this and still have a discussion face to face with people, then I wouldn't be doing this. This is icing on the cake sort of thing. This is that extra bonus point that you can get. It's not the game. It shouldn't be the whole point of what we're doing. It shouldn't be the core of what we're doing. It should be the shiny outside bit that makes it look all pretty.
Yeah.
And that's its limitation as far as I'm concerned. So if you apply that to your Christianity, smart tech, if you can use that to make a nice shiny coat on your Christianity, great. Don't let it become the core.
Awesome. Now we are getting close to that 30-minute mark. So for all those out there who got to this point in the video, I congratulate you.
Stop past them the guy over face.
You got past them the guy over face. And if you're interested in any more, chatsonmail@gmail.com, send us an email, send us a link, and just let us know what we can improve on. But you're part of the conversation. We want to know what you think.
And if you want us to do things back down to like that 10-15 minute mark, let us know that, because we're having a bit of a to and fro with some people who like the short ones and compared to who like the longer ones, and backwards and forwards. So preferences are great, topics are great, feedback is great.
Yeah. And I actually got asked if we could do 2-minute videos, just do a quick question, quick answer. and it would literally be...
I could, but I would offend a lot of people.
So
I would be very blunt in 2 minutes.
So let us know what you think. I love this long form
Long format?
Yeah, I like that long form video format. And I like being able to sit down and have a conversation, and we really don't actually have a conversation. But I know in the future what I'm intending to do with the channel, and I'm going to cut this bit and make it into a little bit. So what I'm planning to do with the channel is make it more of a radio. Just literally sit down and have a conversation. Here's the thing, let's have a discussion. So we don't have a host, we don't have guests, we just have a discussion. Whether there's 2 people, whether it's 1 person, whether it's 5 people, discussion. How do we do a discussion with 1 person? I'll figure that out. But
and doing live ones as well, I think was another goal for us.
Yes.
So if you want to see us do some live topics where you can interact with us, then send us whether you think that's a good idea or not, and let us know what topics that you want to do live and engage with us. Be part of the show. We can make an extravaganza using our smart tech.
Be part of the conversation. It's quite possible for me to add in people using Skype. So you could Skype in, we can answer.
Or could we do like a Brady Bunch thing on the screen?
Well, we can only have, I think 3, but yes, we could create that.
That's only like half of the family. Where's Alice going to go?
Obviously, at this point in time,
Alice.
the only person that I can do all this stuff is me. So if I'm on camera, I can't do it. So because obviously calling in Skype creates noise. But we are looking at, I'm looking at doing a bit more of a radio broadcast with the camera on us, so that we can actually look at each other and still get a 2-camera feed. Looking at that in the future. So that's my plans for this. Anyway, like I said, I'm going to edit this. So that's enough for today.
Toodles.